I greet you all and welcome you to the lesson. The subject is meetings. The topic is members meetings. So far we've done the statutory meeting, the annual general meeting. Today we are moving to the extraordinary meeting. And I see here the examiner has the next one, the special general meeting. Now we are going to combine these two, the special general meeting and the extraordinary general meeting in our today's lesson, because these two are sometimes used interchangeably. In corporate governance, a special general meeting is often referred to as an extraordinary general meeting, though in the current Companies Act, there is a technical evolution that we need to keep in mind, because the company secretary has largely moved away from the term extraordinary meeting, which is now being referred to as a general meeting or general meetings that are not AGMs. So any meeting that the members hold apart from the annual general meeting is just now being referred to as a general meeting that are not AGM. So these two terms are used interchangeably, but it's also important to note that the term special general meeting is mainly used by cooperative societies, by SACCOs, and NGOs. And while they serve the same purpose as the extraordinary meeting, they are governed by the Cooperative Societies Act, and where applicable, the NGO Act. Okay? So the two are generally the same. It's only that one is governed by the Companies Act, the other one is governed by the Companies Act. But they are sometimes used interchangeably to mean any meeting of the company members that is not the annual general meeting or the one-time statutory meeting. Because as we said, that members, first of all, they have what we call the statutory meeting, which is a one-time meeting. It's the first meeting that is held immediately the company is incorporated. The annual general meeting, we learned in our last session, is conducted annually every year. So apart from the annual, the statutory meeting and the annual general meeting, we also have other meetings of members that are not categorized as the AGM or statutory meeting. And while the AGM is a scheduled routine checkup, the extraordinary meeting is the emergency room of corporate decision making, and it is called to handle urgent matters that cannot wait until the next annual general meeting. So by the end of this lesson, we should be able to explain the purpose and scope of the extraordinary meeting. You should also be able to explain who can call a special or an extraordinary general meeting. You should also be able to explain the notice and procedural requirements, and finally the role of the company secretary. So let us begin with the purpose of an extraordinary meeting. What is the purpose and scope? What is the purpose and scope of the extraordinary meeting? Now, an extraordinary meeting is convened to deal with special business. It's convened to deal with special business. And this includes any significant structural or legal changes to the company that require shareholder approval. And the common reasons to call an extraordinary meeting is: number one, altering the articles of association. Altering the articles of association. If you want to alter the articles of association, then the company has to convene an extraordinary general meeting. Changing the company's constitution or its fundamental rules requires that an special general meeting be called. There is capital changes, capital changes, capital changes. This is another reason why this meeting can be convened. That capital changes means increasing or reducing or reorganizing the company's share capital. That requires an extraordinary general meeting. Removal of a director or even an auditor. The company cannot remove a director or an auditor without the members' approval. So taking action against an officer before their term expiry may require an extraordinary meeting to be convened. There is also mergers and acquisitions. These are major decisions. If a company is planning to merge with another one or to acquire another company, then it has to seek the approval of the members. Approving the sale of the company or a major takeover bid will require such a meeting to be convened. Another reason why this meeting can be called is winding up. The company cannot be wound up without the approval of the members. Deciding to voluntarily liquidate or to dissolve the company may require the members to hold an extraordinary general meeting. So these are just a few examples of the purpose of having an extraordinary meeting. So another question we need to answer is, who can call this meeting? Who can call an extraordinary meeting? Who can call an extraordinary general meeting? Candidates, one of the most important aspects of the extraordinary general meeting is that it isn't always initiated by the leadership. It can be called by the board of directors. Board of directors. This meeting can be called by the board of directors whenever they deem a matter that is urgent enough to require a member's vote. Then they can convene this meeting. The shareholders also can requisition. The shareholders have a right to convene such a meeting. If the directors refuse to act, members holding a specific percentage of the voting rights, usually 5% or 10%, depending on the jurisdiction and depending on the Companies Act, can legally requisition or force an extraordinary general meeting. Another one is a registrar of companies. Registrar of companies, or even the court. The registrar of companies or the court. In cases of extreme internal conflict or governance failure, a regulatory body can order a meeting to be held. So these three parties can convene an extraordinary general meeting. Understand? Yes. Now let's discuss the third aspect of our today's lesson in relation to the extraordinary meeting, which is a notice and procedural requirements. Notice and procedural requirement. Is a notice required? Yes. Now, because the matter or matters that are to be discussed at an extraordinary general meeting are often high stakes, the procedural requirements are also very strict. There is a notice period of 21 days, number one. Notice period, and the period is 21 days. There's a notice period of 21 days. 21 days notice is required for a special resolution, though a short notice is sometimes possible if a high majority of members, and this is usually 95%. If 95% of the members agree, then the notice can be issued of a period of less than 21 days. Right? Yes. Then number two, what is required is also explanatory statement. This is what we call explanatory statement. Every notice for an EGM must include an explanatory statement, which is a document that must clearly explain the what and the why of the proposed extraordinary general meeting. There has to be an explanatory statement, the what and the why. Number three, resolution. Most business at an extraordinary general meeting require a special resolution. Special resolution is required. What does that mean? A special resolution is required. What do you mean by special resolution? A special resolution needs a 75% majority of those voting to pass, rather than a simple majority of 51%. It has the stakes, the threshold is higher. For a decision to be made, to be passed during this meeting, 75% of those who are required to vote at the meeting must pass it. It requires a resolution, a special resolution of 75% majority of the vote. So that is the notice and procedural requirement. Then let's discuss finally the role of the company secretary. What is the role of the company secretary in relation to extraordinary general meeting? Now, for a corporate secretary, the EGM is often more stressful than an AGM because it is frequently born out of crisis or a major strategic shift. And the key duties of a corporate secretary include validating the requisition. One, validating the requisition. Validating the requisition. If shareholders call the meeting, then the secretary must verify that they hold the required percentage of shares and that the object of the meeting is legally valid. Because we saw here that the meeting can be called by the shareholders. And it is not just the shareholders. It has to be a certain percentage of the shareholders. So when the shareholders make a requisition for an extraordinary general meeting, it is the company secretary that has to validate the requisition by ensuring that they hold the required percentage of shares and that the object of the meeting is legally valid. That's what we mean by validating the requisition. That's the first role of the corporate secretary in relation to extraordinary general meeting. Managing high stakes is another role that the company secretary plays, because extraordinary general meetings often involve contested removals of directors, they involve controversial mergers, and therefore the secretary must ensure every vote is counted with absolute precision to avoid legal challenges. Then lastly, the secretary has a reporting role. That means filing the special resolutions with the registrar of companies within the statutory deadline, usually 14 days to 30 days. So these are 4 key roles that the company secretary plays in relation to extraordinary general meetings. And that is the end of our today's lesson on the extraordinary general meetings, which you've said is used interchangeably with the term special general meeting. And these are meetings that ensures that the board of directors cannot make massive life-changing decisions or changes to the company without the explicit consent of the owners. So if there are decisions like altering the articles of association, making changes to the capital, removing auditors or directors, mergers and acquisition, or winding up, if the company is facing such decisions, then the members have to be called in a meeting we are referring to as an extraordinary general meeting. And this meeting, we've seen, it can be called by the board of directors, the shareholders, or the registrar or the court. We've explained that before the meeting is called, a notice has to be issued of 21 days, and this notice must be accompanied by an explanatory statement explaining the what and the why. Then there is also resolution that is passed here is a special resolution, which means 75% majority must vote to pass this resolution. We've explained 3 roles of the company secretary in relation to extraordinary meetings. One is validating the requisition, managing high stakes, and reporting through filing the resolutions with the registrar of companies. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.